Greetings and salutations upon you, and thank you for joining me in today's review for The Proud Robot by Henry Kuttner. So this is a fantastic cover, and it was done by Chris Moore. I've got this Hamlin Science Fiction edition, and man, it has been in the wars. It's clearly been in a library where they coated it with a plastic coating which has since wrinkled and warped. The first few pages are completely lacking, so I had to go online to look for some of its details. I hope that isn't the price I paid. I hope I didn't pay $6 for it, but I can't guarantee anything. You've still got the library card there and the stamp from the library as well, proving that I haven't stolen it. It's withdrawn from stock. In addition to all this joy, oh, wait. So the last time this was signed in the library was 1989. That's cute. In addition to that, some juvenile person of whatever age trialed their home stamps here. So we've got the stamp of a dog, and at the back I found another one, a stamp of Snoopy. That's no way to treat a book, whoever you are. If it's you, shame, undiluted shame. Now, I found this book around about January of this year, 2026, and I can't remember exactly where. It was either a community library book, which is basically a book swap place, which would account for its horrible condition, or it was the Ulmara shop down a couple of hours down the coast, which would also account for its terrible condition, since that shop owner does not seem to respect science fiction very much. He's got heaps of it, but he doesn't like it. Any case, foul condition, but I was so excited. I may not remember exactly where I was at the time, but I remember that sense of complete jubilation when I saw this book. Because, other than this, I don't own any Henry Kuttner. I'm not sure I've ever read any Henry Kuttner. And for the last couple of years, I've been listening to all the booktubers over in America and Canada rave about Kuttner and C.L. Moore, who were married and wrote together, and yeah. Now, I have read a C.L. Moore book, very kindly sent to me by Rob from Elspace, and it was fantastic. So I was saving this. I was sort of saving it and relishing it, looking forward to the moment when I finally come to grips with Henry Kuttner. I hated it, and I am DNFing it at page 99. I was determined to at least make it to page 100 out of 189 pages, but at page 99, I can't even make that extra page. I dislike this so much. It's still a beautiful cover, printed in 1983. Now, the first thing about this that you need to know is that this is science fiction comedy, which I was not expecting. This is zany, this is quirky, this is weird, this is exceptionally annoying. It's not that I lack for humour, and it's not that I don't enjoy humour in my books, but the quirky, zany type, I have certain levels of tolerance for it, which this exceeded in the first page. Now, so on the back, we've got the role model for Marvin the Paranoid Android with the question mark. And all I can say is, I don't think so. But if so, Douglas Adams' Marvin manages to exceed its role model so far that they're not even on the same stratosphere. What the reading experience here did often remind me of is Ron Goulart, who wrote zany stuff a lot. And the zane here was heavy. You were drowning in quirk. So we start with an introduction by Peter Pinto, in which he seems to talk almost as much about Catherine Moore as he does about Henry Kuttner, which is fine. I don't know if that means that Catherine Moore had a hand in this writing or not. I suspect she could have, because they married in 1940, and all of this is from 43 to 48. And here's the other thing I didn't realize until I was quite a ways in, until about page 47 to 50. These are short stories. I'm willing to do short stories, but I need mental preparation. I don't love them. Okay, so having discovered that it was a short story collection, after about 50 pages, and after the DNF, I did a bit of digging. So in this short story collection, we have got probably all the short stories relating to Gallagher. Now, Gallagher is the main character in here. He's probably written by Henry Kuttner. The first story is Time Locker. Then there's The World Is Mine, The Proud Robot, Gallagher Plus, and Ex Machina. That's in order of writing. So Time Locker was from 1943. I didn't make it to that one. It was the last one here. Then The World Is Mine, again, 1943. That's the one that killed me. I stopped right there. The Proud Robot, also 1943. Sorry, all of those were 1943. Gallagher Plus was also 1943. I did finish that one. And Ex Machina would be the next story if I was willing to subject myself to that, and that was written in 1948. Now, it seems as if, quite possibly, this compilation has also been printed in a book called Robots Have No Tails. Either it has been printed in a book like that, or there's an extra Gallagher story. And the different internet sites that I've found are giving me slightly different information about it. And I don't care enough to continue looking into it. You can if you like. If you're a Kuttner completionist, good luck. Good luck with these ones. So, while I loathed it, I have to concede that the writing is very competent. It's well written, it's well edited. It is, for what it is, really well done. It's not a bad book by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not a me book. Very much not. So the short stories were regrettable. But let's talk about them. Okay, so main character Gallagher is probably throughout. He's certainly in the 2.5 that I read. Gallagher is a character who is an independent inventor. He has a real job, but I haven't seen anything of it so far. He is an inventor of pretty much anything that anyone asks for. He's brilliant, except that he isn't. He doesn't know any science. His subconscious, as he tells us, has somehow absorbed the concept of science and can invent whatever it wants to when it's been unlocked. In order to unlock it, Gallagher drinks copiously. So there's a lot of drunk and drinking humor. Now, Gallagher will wake up the next morning, or next week for that matter, with a huge hangover, a thing that he's invented, and no idea what it is or what it does, because his subconscious never leaves him notes. And I get that this is hilarious to some people. I found it a bit too silly to be more than a brief chuckle. And all the drinking jokes, I'm sure that they were hysterical in 1943 when they were written. Again, for me, they fell flat. Again, yes, this is someone's book. Someone will love this. I didn't. Well written, to be sure. And because so many of the references are alcohol related, I'm pretty sure I didn't get any of them. For example, I can see here I made a note, what on earth is a Tom and Jerry? I assume that's a drink of some kind that they drank in 1940s America. Maybe they still drink it. If it is, tell me what it is. Because honestly, I'm not going to spend another minute of my life Googling this book. For a long time, in the second story, I think it was, they were talking about someone called Collins, and I had no idea. I think now they actually meant vodka Collins. I have heard of that, though I've never had one. So, yes. I found the writing style pretty grim, and the reading of it even more so. The first one I read is The Proud Robot. Gallagher wakes up after having a big night drinking and inventing, or whatever, and during which time out his subconscious has invented the most annoying robot It is vain. It wants to admire itself in the mirror. It's certain it's beautiful and it sings well. And it also never shuts up. So that was irritating. It turns out that Gallagher has accepted commissions from 3 different customers, not that he remembers any of them or what the commissions actually were. He's also not sure if the robot is actually the fulfillment of any of these commissions or how. So, I actually, of what I read, the Proud Robot was both the most annoying because the robot was insufferable, not humorous in my world, but we actually hear a lot about the entertainment industry that Kuttner invented in the early 40s. And that's pretty impressive. He's essentially foreseen streaming services and large flat top TVs. Now, I'm not sure about Australia and America, but at one stage in parts of the Mediterranean, when video first came out, this was probably a bootleg operation. But there were various providers that would go to an apartment building and they would offer to connect you up to their own little streaming services. In hindsight, this must have been illegal. And you basically got the connection for free, but then you could use the service as much as you liked for a fee, much like streaming services today. These concepts are all in here, and we're talking about something that was probably around in the 80s when video, VHS, was becoming really common. So that was really quite insightful. He talks about a entertainment industry of which there's 2 main players. One of them is called Sonophone or something like that, and the other is the one who has retained him to find a way to beat Sonophone. Because what Sonophone have done is they've taken his technology and they've made all these illegal speakeasies where you can go to the cinema and watch a film as a crowd instead of in the privacy of your own home on television. These televisions are the ones that are freely installed by the company, and you then just pay for your usage. So I actually found the social concepts around the entertainment industry in this futuristic world that also contains the most annoying robot in existence. I actually found them quite interesting, and as long as we stuck to that, it was fine. Now, the robot, in the absence of Gallagher's out researching these speakeasy cinemas, and 2 people from the opposing company turn up to his apartment, and the robot hypnotizes them into believing that he's Gallagher and signs a contract with him that he can't be working with the other. So there's a lot of hysterical moments where he goes to court trying to prove that the robot impersonated him and forged his signature. I'm sure someone out there would find it funny. I've got to assume that Kuttner found it funny while he was writing it, or Kuttner and Moore while they were writing it, because it's written with verve and vigor and enthusiasm, which failed to convey itself to me. Anyhow, it turns out that the rest of it, I think, is him trying to remember who his other customers were. Or is that the next one? I'm not sure. But it ends up being that the robot is, in fact, a 3-in-1. He's combined that is. The robot has combined the military man who wanted some sort of death ray or something, whatever, and there was something else as well, and it combines all of them. Whatever. The second story was the only thing I was really interested in, the social structure, and didn't get enough of that. Okay, in the second one, Gallagher wakes up with a hangover, yawn, and his backyard has vanished to a depth of almost hangover depth, we're told. And yes, I think I have actually strained my right eyeball from rolling it so hard. I get these shooting pains from it. Anyway, it's vanished to some depth, and his story is he must figure out what the machine tendrils are sucking the soil into, and what the machine is actually for. Again, he had, I think, 3 different people giving him money for this commission, and that was Gallagher Plus. And we start with this hysterically zany conversation between Gallagher and his stomach about the wisdom of drinking more booze. The annoying robot features in this one, but not nearly as much. He's just sort of a side effect, so that's something. But then someone's brought out a court order against him for not fulfilling a promise or something, which of course he has, only his subconscious did it and he doesn't know what it is. Yawn again. So he goes to look for the lawyer or something to do with that and finds him in a bar, and then they engage in this incredibly zany and funny alphabet drinking game, as drink a drink from every letter of the alphabet around town. Of course, Gallagher drinks a lot, so they're buds by the end of it. Honestly, it nearly put me off my own ABC challenge. I like alcohol. I like drinking. I actually probably do more of it than my liver would prefer I do. But I think I'm going dry for a week as a response from this. It's just made so humorless and unenjoyable in here. Okay, story 3. The world is mine. Gallagher wakes up from a drunken stupor, surprising no one. But what is surprising is that in the corner of his room, in a pile of blankets, is his granddad, who's come to visit him in town. And the previous night, a challenge was issued from Gallagher Grandpère to Gallagher Jr., who could drink more, and Grandpa won. I guess that's meant to be funny too. So he goes to the backyard, and in the backyard there's these weird rabbit-like things that come in as soon as he opens the door. They are very annoying. They are allegedly Martian and allegedly from the future, because Granddad tells Gallagher that last night he decided to build a time machine and activate it in the backyard, which was when these incredibly annoying rabbit things arrived. And page 98, I was flagging, and the first paragraph on page 99, it's like I could be doing something fun right now. I could be scrubbing the grouting in the bathroom. That would be more fun. Done. If I'd have continued on, I'd have had a story called Ex Machina next and Time Locker last. Someone who reviewed this in its alternative compendium, I believe, of Robots Have No Tails, says that Time Locker is the least of the collection. So I don't know if that's something to look forward to or not, considering how much I did not enjoy the rest of it. And yeah, again, quirky, zany, hysterically funny, drinking humor and drunk humor everywhere. My subconscious, I don't know what it's doing all the time, humor. This is just so funny, and it's so hard to get around. What can I say? I'm not a 1940s girl. Maybe it was funny then, but I did not find it so. And the thing is, the idea that your subconscious is somehow able to do science when you're not, I suspect is a bit of a spoof on artists who say that they paint better when they're drunk. Or in the case of Warhol and his mates, otherwise intoxicated. And maybe it was a bit of a personal thing. I too think that I paint better, at least abstracts, when I'm a few drinks in. I like planning and I like doing basic art installations when I'm sober, but to really let the verve of the colour flow, a few drinks help. And I think this is meant to be a 1940s spoof on artists saying that. Maybe. But whatever it is, I didn't like it, and I did DNF it, and I'm very sad about that because I had such high hopes for Kuttner. Anyhow, thank you for watching, if you're still watching. Out of a 5-star Goodreads rating, I think it'd weigh in at a sliver over 2 stars, because while I didn't finish it, it is well written, and this is someone's good book, not mine. On the SF20 rating out, I would probably just give it 7 out of 20 stars because, again, the writing is good. I enjoyed it not at all. Ah well. I just hope I can get over the bitter taste of this book in my mouth. I've got many books beginning with K behind me that I could move on to. And I hope my next review would be more positive. I'm really sad that I didn't like Kuttner. I may try Kuttner again if I ever find any more Kuttner, but I won't be feeling that jubilation at locating the book that I did when I unfortunately came across this as my first Henry Kuttner. Thank you very much for watching. Read good books. Maybe even if you like the zany, humorful stuff, read this good book. It is a good book. It's just not mine. Okay, bye.